Indian Aftermarket is proud to offer exhaust pipes for the Indian 111 bikes made by RC Components. So first, let's install them on this 2016 Indian Springfield, and then we'll let you listen to the pipes. The sound is very deep and very good. The first step is to remove the heat shields so you have access to the mufflers, and there are a couple clamps to hold the heat shields on. So you can use a screwdriver or a nut driver to loosen these hose clamps. There are two hose clamps holding each of the heat shields on the left and right side of the bike. You'll want to unscrew them completely so you can pull them off of the exhaust pipes. We're working on the right side of the bike, and once you remove the heat shield, you can see where the 2-into-1 headers come together, and this houses the catalytic converter. Some people like to cut this open and remove the catalytic converter and then weld it back. The purpose of this is to reduce heat buildup in the pipe and therefore under your thighs. Now we're going to remove the saddlebag by first removing the plastic side panel so you can unplug the electrical connector. This of course is only if you have hard saddlebags. Now you want to open the lid and then unlatch the two latches holding the saddlebags on. It takes quite a bit of effort to get it. Then you want to close the lid simply because it's easier to pull it off the bike with the lid closed. You want to grasp the lid firmly and then gently wiggle and pull it off the two spools on the fenders of the bike, and careful if the cable comes out with it easily. Now set the saddlebag safely somewhere we won't be kicking it over. The muffler is now completely exposed, and you will see it is only held in place at 2 points. A clamp at the front, which we will loosen, and then at the back it's held on by 2 bolts. The brackets on top you see are merely resting points for the saddlebag. There's actually no connection there. Use a wrench to loosen the nut almost all the way off. Then use a hammer, a rubber hammer is safer, and pound on the bolt a little bit just to break it loose, and then slide it forward out of the way of the muffler. Moving to the rear of the muffler, you'll want to remove the 2 bolts holding on the back of the muffler. Don't worry about it falling off because it is still held on very tight at the connection to the headers. As you're removing the 2 bolts, you'll notice there's a decorative rubber fitting on top. Just pull that off. It's not glued or attached in any way, and you'll put it back on later. Since everything is disconnected, you would think it'd be easy just to slide the muffler off. Well, it doesn't come off that easily. Once again, it's time for Mr. Hammer. Definitely use a rubber hammer or a wooden block to soften the blow of a metal hammer. And you might first want to pry the flange up a little bit just to make it easier and to kind of knock it loose. Then use your rubber hammer to gently pound it backwards. While holding the muffler firmly, wiggle it and slide it off the back of the 2-into-1 header. The stock muffler is laying at the top, and the one at the bottom is the new RCXhaust, which has a tip on it. These tips are available in about 20 different varieties, and they're included in the price when you buy the slip-on mufflers. Most slip-on mufflers look similar. It's on the inside that counts, and when you look down the RCXhaust, it's a full 2.5-inch diameter opening with little baffles guiding some of the air into the outer chamber and back in, giving it a deep, rich sound. Before installing the new muffler, you might want to clean and remove any debris from the headers before you slide the new slip-on. Now you want to slide the new slip-on onto the header, and take note that there's a right and left side. You want the mounting bracket to face towards the bike and the saddlebag brackets facing up. As you slide it on, you will need to hold it until you can get at least one of the rear bolts in place. Remember to reinsert the little rubber decorative piece. You really don't see it, but you might as well get it since you paid $20,000 to have it. Secure the bolts pretty snug, and then we'll go up to the front of the muffler to secure the clamp. As you slide the clamp back over the muffler, there's a little spacer in there that likes to catch on it. The new muffler is a little bit heavier steel, so get that spacer started and then kind of tap it in place so that it's basically flush with the end of the muffler. And then tighten it down very good because you don't want any air leaking out. Before you put the heat shield back on, you may have some burn marks or really dug in debris. And a nice little trick to clean them is to use a very fine steel wool and gently rub it, and it'll remove burn marks like some plastic got burned in or something, and clean them up real nice without actually scratching the chrome. The heat shields are held on by hose clamps, and you can use a screwdriver, but a nut driver makes the job much easier. Once the muffler and the heat shields are all in place and secured, put your saddlebag back in place by sliding it onto the two spools and securing the clamps. And then of course don't forget to plug it back in and put the plastic cover over. You'll want to do approximately the same thing on the other side of the bike. And now the best part, you finally get to hear what these pipes sound like. We feel that these are among the best, if not the very best sounding pipes you could put on your 111 bike. Thanks for watching, and if you like these pipes, they're available at indianaftermarket.com.